Hello there, welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Today I'll be talking about some of my tips for success. So let's jump right into this. The first one, be consistent. This is fairly obvious for most people. The more you play a game, probably the better you're going to do. So be consistent doing your dailies, getting your energy refreshes. You do get those, let's see, 1, 2, 3 times a day. So know what time that is for you. That's different for every person depending on when your daily reset is, which you can also change, by the way. So make sure you do that to fit your custom schedule, your life. Make sure you spend your energy before it hits the cap, because wasted energy is not going to do you any good. If you're sitting at 144 of 144, the energy is just going to waste. It could be spent getting gear, farming shards, whatever. Make sure you participate in all the raids in your guilds and all the guild events, the territory wars, the territory battles. Make sure you're doing the daily events, whatever you can do. Um, Make sure you're participating in as much as you can. The more stuff that you can get, better off you'll be. Well, that's fairly simple. So, understand the game. This is where we jump into a little more in-depth stuff here. So, my theory, you play for fun or you play for competition. Sometimes you can do both. Um, I'm a very competitive person, so when I win, that's fun. But in order to win, you need to farm the meta teams. When you're playing for fun, you're more casual. You're not so worried if you lose a little bit of energy, if you don't get your 600 tickets. That's fine. If that's you and you just want to have fun playing the game, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to win and you're a very competitive person like I am, forgive me, this thing keeps falling down. Uh, you really need to be farming those meta teams. You need to be staying active, uh, even if it's not exactly what you want to farm up. That's just the way the game works. So it's all about basic economics here. Resources are scarce in the game. When you gear up one character, that means another character on your roster is not getting that gear. Also, when you increase your GP by gearing someone up, that means your competition is also gearing someone up. Usually you're going to be matched against someone about the same GP as you, very close. Until you get to the super high levels, the matchmaking is actually pretty good. So is the character that you're gearing up better than the character that they are gearing up? Are you farming the best teams? Do you have good mods on your teams? And that brings us to the last point on this slide. Learn about mods. So if GP and player skill are equal, mods are going to decide who wins. Now I'm not going to go into talking about mods here because there's lots and lots of good videos about mods. I encourage you to check those out. There's lots of good resources about mods. Maybe I'll leave a link with a guide down below that I learned, kind of beginner's guide. I learned a lot about mods. Understanding the basics is a lot of it. How they work, what they can do in terms of buffs, and what they can't. So knowing a good mod from a bad mod is very important. But again, I can't stress this enough. When you gear up a character, your opponent is also gearing up a character. Is the character that you're gearing up better than the one that they're gearing up? Along those same lines, going for certain characters is going to affect your GP differently. So, for example, if you farm and gear up Nest, he's 20,000 something GP, maybe a full relic 7, if that much, and he can solo teams fairly consistently up until the very end game. He's very valuable. That's one guy that can kill a whole team for 20,000 GP. That's a pretty good deal. But when you go for C3PO, that's 1/5 of a team, and on top of his 20,000 GP or whatever it is, you also have to have the Ewoks. So you're dumping another 80,000 GP onto your roster for a subpar team. So maybe going for C3PO early in the life of your account is not the best alternative. Because 80,000 out of a 1 million roster is a lot more than 80,000 out of a 5 million roster. Now, I'm not saying you should wait that long to get him. It's just an example, okay? So some characters require certain teams in order just to unlock, just to be part of another team. You know, it's up to you. Think about it. Is that really what's best for your roster? So moving to the next slide here. Write out your strategy, and this is where that really comes in. So know what teams you want to farm. Write them all out, and then order them in what order you should go for. You know, you want those meta teams, but some meta teams are going to be better than others based on what you're seeing. So put them in order. Write it out somewhere. I keep an online document with my strategy, what I want to farm, what I want to gear, who I should put the Zetas on first. This is going to be very key to helping you stay on track so that you're not wondering, I just finished this guy, what do I do next? We've all been there. Well, probably all of us have been there. We've all asked guildmates, what should I do next? When you have a written out guide, you'll know what teams you're going to be working on. There won't be any question. You'll be more focused. You'll get the good teams done, and then you can move on to more fun teams if you're high enough GP, or more other meta teams that you need. So when it comes to Grand Arena, this is the same thing. Write out your strategy. You don't have to do it right away, but take a good look at their roster, figure out what you want to put on defense, and then when Grand Arena opens up, you want to see all your opponent's defenses. Write down each of the teams. Doesn't take long at all. It takes 2 minutes. Write down the team, write down the GP, write out what you might see in the back, and then next to that, to each team, put what team you want to use on offense against their team on defense. Then you've got your strategy going. It's just you go down that list, you know exactly what team counters what, you go for it. Since I've started doing this, my success in Grand Arena has greatly increased. I highly recommend this. Become more knowledgeable. If you're watching videos, you're probably already doing that, so that's good. So I'm going to contradict myself here a little bit. Do your own research. That's the first point, because there's lots and lots of good resources online. You have questions, someone else has probably already asked that question before. So there's lots of good guides, written guides online that you can find. You can go to forums. You can search very easily for questions. Do that first. Become more knowledgeable. Watch other people on YouTube. Watch other people do Grand Arena on YouTube. You'll learn a lot of strategies that way. Then also join a good guild, and this is where I contradict myself, because I'm going to say ask good questions. Not just ask questions, but ask good questions. People are going to get annoyed if you ask dumb stuff all the time. But if you've done your own research and you present a question that's a good question, you know what? People are probably going to want to know the answer, and someone will probably know, or at least they'll give you some good thoughts on it. So do your own research, join a good guild, ask good questions. Okay, so that's all I've got for today. I appreciate you all watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and if this video was helpful for you, please go share it somewhere else. I do this so that the community grows stronger, competition increases, people have more fun, so that people feel like they're linked into a community. Hopefully that's part of the reason why you're watching. So share this with someone else, help them become a better player. You all have a great day and be blessed. See ya.